It's time for sports. We say hello to Ketevan Gorjestani.
Hi, François.
Some say a bit of a passing of the baton with the final of the Masters tournament in Indian Wells.
Yes, the 25-year-old Dominic Thiem denying the legend Roger Federer his record 6th Indian Wells title. Dominic Thiem claiming his first Masters 1000 title. The Swiss, though, did capitalize on some early errors from Thiem to ease to a 3-love lead before pushing through to win the opening set 6-3. But the Austrian quickly bounced back with an early break of his own to force a decider. Both players showing their best tennis in the final set, but it was Thiem who finally got the break in the 11th game before serving out the match 3-6, 6-3, 7-5 to claim the biggest win of his career. A victory that means that Thiem replaces Federer as world number 4, but the 25-year-old did pay tribute to the legend.
He's such a legend, and for all of us younger players, it's really a privilege to still be able to compete with him and to play against him in the finals of big tournaments like this one. And first of all, it's great to play against him, and I think with every match against somebody like him, I can learn a lot of stuff. It's tough against Roger, Rafa, Novak, and some other guys, because you have to beat not only the player but somehow also the great aura what they have, all these titles they have won. So you have to play somehow double good to beat them.
Now, the women's final ended in a major upset as teenager Bianca Andreescu claimed the first title of her career by defeating 8th-seeded Angelique Kerber, the Canadian wildcard, playing fearlessly from the get-go. She broke Kerber in the opening game of the match to take the first set 6-4. Kerber battled back to claim the second, and it looked like she would cruise to victory when she broke to go up 3-2 in the third after Andreescu needed a medical timeout to treat her shoulder. Andreescu broke back to level the set, but nerves appeared to get to the Canadian near the end when Kerber saved 3 match points. But Andreescu broke the German again in the next game to win it 6-4, 3-6, 6-4. The 18-year-old, who was ranked 152nd at the start of the season, is now ranked 24th in the world. On to the night's NBA action. Atlanta's playoff hopes taking another hit after their 10-point loss to Orlando, 101-91. And it was Nikola Vucevic who carried the Magic. He scored Orlando's first 13 points and sparked an early 9-point Magic lead. He had 27 points and 20 rebounds on the night to compensate for his team's dismal 39% shooting. Orlando remain a game behind Florida rivals Miami in the chase for the final Eastern Conference playoff spots. Meanwhile, the Heat beat the Hornets in Miami 93-79 to hold on to that 8th spot. The Knicks stage a late comeback to beat the Lakers 124-123 and snap an 8-game losing streak. Philadelphia securing their spot in the playoffs after beating Eastern Conference leaders the Milwaukee Bucks despite 52 points by Giannis Antetokounmpo. Lou Williams draining a winning 3 on the buzzer to give the Clippers a 119-116 victory over the Nets. In football, the French team is back at its training ground of Clairefontaine ahead of the Euro 2020 qualifiers. Coach Didier Deschamps recalling 16 players from the World Cup winning squad, including, of course, the star Kylian Mbappé, as well as goalkeeper Hugo Lloris. Players also who had missed out on the World Cup have been recalled, like Kingsley Coman or Levin Kurzawa. Deschamps has had to deal with a number of injuries, with Anthony Martial, for example, being replaced by Thomas Lemar. Les Bleus will be kicking off their campaign in Moldova on Friday before hosting Iceland. 3 days later, there are other teams in France's group are Andorra, Albania, and Turkey. And we finish with football, but violence, fan violence again in Greece during the Athens derby between Panathinaikos and Olympiacos. Just minutes after kickoff, Panathinaikos fans invaded and attacked Olympiacos players on the team's bench. The match was stopped for about 8 minutes before resuming, violence erupting again after Olympiacos scored the only goal of the match in the 53rd minute. Riot police replying with tear gas, which started to affect the players, forcing the referee to end the game 20 minutes early. Panathinaikos face a possible points deduction as well as a fine. The club, though, condemning the violence, blaming it on a minority of their fans, and calling on the Greek government to do more to curb stadium violence. This, Francois, of course, is just the latest in a series of incidents, fan violence on the pitch. We remember last year, PAOK owner who stormed the pitch armed with a gun walking out. He has since been banned for 3 years from all football-related activities.
All right, many thanks for that, Kate Von Gorgestani. We'll have more